This is Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. We infuse, we energize, we inspire, and we empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes in BW and beyond. Hello and welcome once again to another episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. Always super excited to bring you yet another entrepreneur. We're going to talk about the hospitality industries, tourism. It's going to be a very, very fascinating conversation. You're going to learn so much about how difference makers and change makers in this country are making it happen. And I have just the entrepreneur for you on that score. But a little bit of housekeeping before we proceed. I have a book, as you might know. Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast has given birth to the Nuggets of Grit, which is a book which I co-authored with Saidi Mdala. It's going for $3.99, but I'm willing to give it to you, dear viewer, at a discount of 10%, which means all you need is $3.60 to get your copy. Another piece of housekeeping: please strike that notification bell, that like bell, and of course the subscribe button as well. We really need you to work with us on these algorithms. Let me welcome you to the studio, madam.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It took a while to get you to come, but let the viewers know who you are in terms of your name and your background.
Kibidua Chowy Boikanyo. I'm the owner and director of Makovango Hotels in Northwest Botswana. I am here representing my company and trying to share my experience as an entrepreneur in Northwest District.
Okay. The education part, the training, share a little bit of that.
I'm an accountant by profession, by the way. I was working for the council for the government of Botswana for about 15 years before I resigned in 2015. So after I have a master's in business administration.
Okay, from the University of
Chomy in the UK.
Okay, that's impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
And did you work anywhere before you started? You said you worked for the government.
I worked for the government. I was working as an accountant, more counseling. I'm an accountant by profession.
Okay.
So I've studied accounting, and I've worked in about 3 districts. I've worked go Southern District Council. I've worked go Ngami Sub-District, which is now Northwest District Council. And I've also worked go Okavango Sub-District, which is now Okavango District Council.
Yeah. I understand accountants do well as entrepreneurs when they transition. Okay. And what can you tell us what about the hotel business, how you became interested in it, how you started?
As I was working here like counseling in Gumare, I've realized that there was a gap in terms of accommodation because we had support visits from here, from Gaborone or from Maung. So you realize that there was severe shortage of accommodation in the area. We would book people as far as Shakawe when they're working in Gumare. So that alone showed there was a gap that needed to be filled. So because I've always thought I don't want to be a 9 to 5 forever, I've always wanted to do something. Even when I was employed, I always had small businesses in Yana on the sides. I've sold both Russian and Maguinya on the sides when I'm at work. So I've sold Botapawe, I've sold everything you can think of. So I've always known that I'm not going to work forever. Yes.
All right. And when did the business actually start?
The hotel business, the one that is at Gumare, was our very, very first project. I co-ran this business with my husband, Mr. Boikanyo. And when I was still employed co-counseling, like I said, I saw this gap, that there is a gap in the accommodation space. And I decided that maybe it's something that we should venture on. He's always been an entrepreneur because he was a retailer on another shop. So we agreed that now we're going to do something along the lines of accommodation. So we started 2016 and built only 10 rooms, which was just a guest house. The guest house had 10 rooms only, and we wanted to do something that is like very nice in the area, because there were other facilities, but we thought maybe the reason why our bosses wouldn't want to spend the night in Gumare, maybe they were not happy with the kind of facilities that were available at the moment. Not case in the yes, while I was in the council. So we decided to try and do something that was like top notch, something up the banyana.
Okay.
So
Yeah, when you say a gap, and then you mentioned that your boss never used to stay in Gumare, what was happening there? Gumare, nobody ever spent the night, or what?
No,
was the
there were, like I was mentioning, it was like support visits from people coming from Gaborone or Maung to come and check on us at the district level. So, we'll have support visits, we'll have trainings from people coming from here, because obviously the headquarters is this side. So we have people coming from here, from the Ministry of Local Government, to come and check us on the other side, go counseling. So you'll realize there was a need, or there was a gap, because, obviously when you want to book for somebody coming from here, maybe a permanent secretary or a minister, you would want a facility that will suit their needs at that particular moment. There were facilities there, but not saying they were not up to standard. But you could tell if you have like a group of 10 people. At that time, Gumare only had like 20 rooms in total. So if there's a training or a workshop, you realize there are only 10 people or 15 people who are going to get accommodation, because the other rooms would have been reserved by other people.
Oh, so it was always full.
It was always full. So that alone showed there was a gap that needed to be filled in that space.
Tell me about the name that you chose, Makovango. Yeah.
Makovango, we were just brainstorming. I remember we were driving from Gaborone going to Gumare. West Hana High something along the Hanti Road, and we're just brainstorming what name can we name our guest house, because it was a guest house then. Then we're like, but we need something that people can relate with on this side, because obviously our businesses were going to be based in northwest Botswana, so something that could be attractive, maybe Makovango, because we've thought of Makovango. And then when you Google Makovango, the delta, yes. Yeah. So when we Googled Makovango, we realized that the name has already been used. And then we were like, okay, Okavango was already used. So we were like, okay, let's find something in between Makovango and Okavango. That's how we came up with Makovango.
It's brilliant. I love that name.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And any challenges associated with funding when you started?
Yes. I can't say... I started writing my business plan around 2012. Yeah, I wrote it for about 4 years. I worked on it tirelessly. I did a lot of research. I did a lot of questionnaires. I was asking people around what is going on. And we realized as we were doing this that this is not child's play. We are going to be in trouble. So we applied via Leya to SEDA in 2016. After the business plan was complete, I was doing the business plan with my business advisor, who was with Leya at that time. She has left now. She's a businesswoman now. She was a very smart woman. She's called Ikanye Masole. She built a businesswoman in me. She was very tough on me, and at the time I thought it was abuse, but with time I realized that she was really training me into being this tough businesswoman that I am today. And Mama Sole I would write, because I've always loved writing. I would write a lot of things that were coming out of my head, because obviously this was something that I've always had the love for hospitality. It was something that was coming from within me. So I'll write a lot of things and submit to her. She will highlight everything, send it back to me and say, drive your point home. I've always thought this was abuse. So I did that business plan with her. up till we submitted Ukosida and we were funded back in 2016 for the facility, guest house, which is around 2.7 mils, I think.
Okay. Does it make it somehow easier if you go via layer when you go to CEDA?
I think it does, because I see a lot of people nowadays wanting to take shortcuts. They want to buy business plans from people. So obviously, if you buy a business plan and then you submit it directly to CEDA, that product that is not yours. Because when you write the business plan
it's
from
like if
scratch,
you download from the internet.
Yes. So if you write the business plan from scratch, you know all the ins and outs. You even imagine yourself being inside the facility, pacing up and down the corridors. So that's the beauty of it, because I could see myself every day running that business whilst I was writing the business plan. So it helped me in that way, such that I could imagine myself doing it.
Now, why did you decide on 10 rooms?
At the time, it was a starting point, because I didn't want to get a lot of money COSEDA at the time, because I felt the business is going to do well. I did my research, I did my feasibility study, so I was sure the business was going to do well. That's why I wanted just a kick, something that can kick us to get to start.
Okay.
You know, because right now the business valued around 18 million at the moment. Yes, it has.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. It has 33 rooms now, and a conference room which seats 90 people. It has a restaurant which seats 50 people, and we also built another hotel outside Seda in Shakawe. It's a beautiful riverfront hotel. It's called Makovango Riverfront Resort.
Wow. Tell me about that one.
That one is like a baby. It's not the last born of the family, but you know, the youngest child is always
the youngest
most
currently. Yeah.
it's the most loved one. So it's a very beautiful facility on the riverbank, on the Okavango riverbank. The floodplain extends to our rooms. So when you are in the room, because the rooms are a bit higher on the stoop, it looks as if you are sleeping inside the floodplain. Yes. So it's a beautiful facility that we only have 12 rooms in that facility. And because we don't want to make it big and busy, we want it to be more personalized and exquisite. That's why we didn't want to have a lot of rooms in it, because we want personalized experience for our guests to feel like.
But I'm sure there's room for growth. A lot more people will want the personalized experience.
There is room for growth. Right now, the hospitality industry is facing a lot of challenges. Not only because of COVID. No, COVID was a big it was a big blow, obviously. But right now we are having another issue, pedium. You know, pedium is a very big deal.
Explain that to me.
Yes. You know, I just have to say this before I can get to pedium. When I was doing my business plan, my business advisor had advised. You know, she asked me a question which I took for granted. She said, "So what if the government is not there? Who's going to be your market?" I thought she was crazy. I was like, I can never lose government business. We haven't lost government business, but we have lost the amount of income that we're getting from the government. You know, pedium is this new, I think it's this new way where the government gives their employee money to go on a trip, like it was with Impressed. But at this moment, they are not expected to return the receipts. So you spend the money anyhow you want.
They can stay at a friend's house.
They can stay at a friend's house. They can come and negotiate a discount with you, because our room goes for 895, the standard room, and an executive of 1,295. So somebody can just come and negotiate that for 500 pula. So you can imagine at Gumare at the moment I have 31 members of staff. So the service is the same, because the rooms are full, but the income is small. Because the trips have to happen, people have to travel. The rooms might be full, but again, sometimes we don't even get the occupancy rate that we used to get. Now the service has to match the number of employees and the guests in the rooms. So what happens now is that we have decided that maybe we can cut our employees into half, because obviously we are getting half the revenue from the pedium, because now people are not coming, or if they are coming, they are paying half of what they're
they
supposed
should
to
be
pay.
paying,
Yes. So that has been like, this is like our newest problem at the moment. That is like the problem that we are currently facing. So
when did this start with government?
I think it started on the 1st of April this year.
Is there no way you can complain and have it fixed?
I don't think there is going to be a way, given that this is also one of the years that we can't talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's
the election year.
Yeah, it's the elections year. But again, we're thinking maybe next year we can try to tackle it.
Yeah.
Right now, I don't think anyone will listen.
Would listen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because politicians are busy campaigning.
They are busy campaigning, and a lot of people are employed by government. So obviously, they would want to entice them somehow at our expense. That is the most painful part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from that unique challenge, what other unique challenges are there?
Operating in Makovango it's a big challenge, because Makovango, number one, let me just say,
Makovango as the Delta in general.
No, not the Delta, the area. Like we are in Gumare.
Yeah.
It's a big challenge. Number one is the workmanship. Where to get people to do some work for you. Right now, if you have a problem with your lock, you can easily replace your lock now. You can just cross the road and get a lock from the hardware. But with us, we have to go to Maung to get the lock. Because the hardwares that are there, obviously, they don't, sometimes they run out of stock. Sometimes they don't even sell those kind of things that you want. Or maybe the wheels of a sliding door or something, or a bulb. I remember I bought some bulbs, some lights here in Gibbs, and when I got there I realized that those bulbs are not sold anywhere else apart from here.
Yes.
So that has been the workmanship, also like to get people who know how to do the work. If I can give you an example right now, in Gumara we only have one guy who knows how to fix DSTV. Yes. So that guy, if he doesn't want to come today, he can charge you 300 pula for the same service. He will charge you 1.5 for the following week. So
he's the king of DSTV.
Yeah, he is. And we believe in him, and we can't live without him. So he's the only guy who fixes our decoder channel. And if he's not available, which means our guests will be... Yeah, that is... The workmanship also is the biggest challenge. And just to get, like, easy things
What
like...
is the population size?
We are around 8,000.
Oh, okay, so
9,000. I think, yeah. So it's a very small population. And again, to get the right people, skilled people, apart from the workmanship. Because obviously, Bana Baba Zonku Gumare, after Form 5, they come to Habron or they go to Maung to look for work. So, Khotsa Baba sitting hela momutsing, Baba ipuletseng gore bana ba setse le basadi bagolo.
So about clients.
They are not looking for opportunities. So obviously, right now, 80% of our staff is from Gumare. But we are trying to...
You offer them accommodation and everything else?
No, most of them are from Gumare. Or most of our staff are from
Gumare. They are
Gumare.
local?
They are local,
okay.
Yes. So the challenge is somebody who is not looking for opportunities. Somebody who always thinks, or whatever happens, I'll go back home. So obviously that person doesn't have...
the work ethic is not...
the work ethic is not up to where we would want it to be.
All right. Now, let's talk about the strategies. I mean, obviously, when you started, it was a bit daunting. So what strategies do you put in place for you to be able to succeed?
I think we are trying our best to provide the best service in the area. We are the best hotel in Gumare at this moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one saying it. I mean, my guest can attest
who's going to market you? You're marketing yourself. You're promoting.
Yes. Our guest can attest to this, that we try to provide the best service possible. And again, I think it's also presence online presence, on social media, Facebook, booking.com. People are able to access us. And also the feedback from our guests.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the only thing that keeps us going.
And the quality of service, does that set you apart?
It does, obviously. And our facility as well is like very beautiful. So sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I wow myself.
What are the distinguishing features about it? What are the difference makers?
Yeah, our facility is thatched. It is like a and it has a glass front in the middle. So also the interior part of it in the rooms, it's beautiful. A lot of our guests would say, when you are inside here, you don't feel like you're in Gumari, you feel like Mauritius, because we have like big banana leaves and palms. So they always feel as if Habamo Gumari, and only when you get outside you meet the dust, you're like, okay, I'm here.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. Now, they often when you are starting in business, there are unique challenges that are associated with starting, that have to do with being a woman in a man's world. Did you encounter any of that, and how did you handle that?
I wasn't like alone. Like I mentioned, I do this business with my husband. So when he's around, he do like the mainly things. Like right now we have our duties. He takes care of maintenance and stuff, and anything that has to do with Homa Nalebatu is handled by him because so he's the one who deals with Bobari, construction, maintenance and stuff. I only deal with the administration part of it. I deal with supplies, I deal with admin, HR. But right now we have managers in both facilities who do, because we figured as much as we have, let's say, to run this thing, also we need people who are skilled to be able to execute some of the duties that we might not be able to.
Yeah. So you've got managers who've been trained in hospitality.
Yes.
And who are good at what they do.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how is tourism itself? Because this is a tourism area. Since you are now part of it, how has it evolved? How have things evolved since you've been part of this?
Yes. I think right now the area of Kavango, the whole area of Kavango, because now we have a lot of influence from the Delta. They've upped the standard. They are 5-star people. People who are operating inside the Delta don't play. They are very serious about their business. And when somebody comes out of the Delta, because we're just at the exit and they get to the facility, they don't have to feel a lot of difference between you and those guys. So those guys are doing a lot of
because they get paid in US dollars.
Yes, they do a lot of eco-friendly activities like recycling. They use solar panels. They don't use our normal motlakasi, because obviously they're in the remotest areas, so they don't use
solar energy.
They use the solar, and also they do a lot of recycling. They can even recycle their bottles to make bricks and build the campsite. They get the brick from recycled bottles. So this whole thing, social, responsible tourism, where they really recycle everything that they get. Be waste. They can even use waste from the sewage to do other things, like to water the plants. They treat it and water the gardens. They treat it and use it as cooking gas. So there's a lot of eco-friendly activities that they're doing. They're trying by all means not to leave a footprint on the environment. Yeah. So it's very commendable.
And yourselves, what are you doing in the eco-friendly space?
We are trying to do that as well. We've recently installed a recycling system that deals with our sewage, where we treat the other sewage, not to just throw everything into the sewer line. So we try to recycle the waste and water our garden with it. So that is the one thing that we've tried to do. And we're trying to, if you've been to our facility, no, you've never been to, when you get to the facility, on the left side, you see where we've put a big structure. We want to install solar panels so that we can feed our rooms, especially lighting, with solar.
You save a lot on
money
BPC bills.
Don't talk about those.
Those bills are horrendous.
Yes.
Now, the tourism industry is often accused of not being hijacked, being taken over by foreign-based players.
Yes.
And them being dominated in that space. What are your observations, and do they constitute an opportunity or a threat?
I can't say they're a threat. You know, I think hela Rona, what we should do is to try to learn from these people as much as we can. Let us not kick them out. You know, and we can learn a lot from them, because we have our fellow countrymen working for them. So those are the right people who can be milking skills from them in order for them to put that blanket for us to sit on. So to me, they are not a threat. They are teaching us something that, you know, right now, if you can look at the numbers between now and before COVID, you see there are lots of Botswana in the Makovango Delta. We have facilities there now operating there inside the Delta. So that thing was could never happen in the
about
past.
10 years ago.
No,
15.
10 years is too far. Maybe 5 years ago, that thing was far-fetched.
Unheard of.
Yes, it's something that you'd never think would happen. But right now, for the past 2 years, there's been a lot of Botswana who've been opening camps inside the Delta. So I think they are also learning from them, and I think we should just learn from them. We'll take them out gradually, of course,
if we need to.
If we need to, but again, a lot of them are Botswana. They have Uma. So also it's going to be a bit of a problem.
We're not getting rid of them, but
we can't.
We'd rather learn from them.
Yeah, we'd rather learn from them.
Yeah. What are your strategies, if any, for attracting and retaining guests?
I think it's just basically that we try to provide the best service so that they don't feel the need not to come back. They have to know that when they are at our facility, they will enjoy the service, the good service. They will enjoy the ambience, the serenity around it, because we try to make them as comfortable as possible whenever they're with us. And when they ask for something, we try by all means, no matter how much it takes from us, but we try to provide that particular thing for them. I remember we had guests who were really asking for a swimming pool. They would come and say, pool, but then eventually we're like, okay, let's just build the swimming pool. Right now we have plans to build a gym, because a lot of people now are
asking about the gym.
Yes, they are into health and fitness. So when they come there, they would want to run on a treadmill for 10 minutes or so. So we are also now trying to put up a gym there for them. Yeah. Yes.
Now, you also have a bar within the
yes.
And what are the challenges associated with that?
We do have a bar in our restaurant. The challenge is supplies. Supplies, because we get our stock from Maung.
From?
Maung. So Maung is 250 kilometers from Gumare, and the road is a nightmare. The road is bad. So it takes us about 3.5 to 4 hours to drive that 250 kilometers. So, but they're saying the road is being fixed. We see a bit of trucks tomorrow. The other day they disappear, because again, people who come there to try and fix the road, I think they quote the prices road. When they get there, they realize
it's a different
setup.
It's
a different setup altogether. So the supplies on our bar, it's a big problem, because now we have to buy from small supermarkets. We've also put that markup. So you realize, for a guest will say, na savana ke reka 18 pula, lona ke le rekisa 30 pula. Of course, we're going to sell it for 30 pula because we bought it for 25 pula. And that 5 pula also, we have to pay motoro service, we have to pay for other things in that 5 pula. So it becomes a challenge. Even in terms of Boroko, the room costing is around 450 pula, 500 pula for an executive room. Because the room costing, we calculate it really whatever that we've put in the room for that room on a day. So if my room costing is 450 and then you want to pay 500, it means you want me to be left with 50 pula to pay my loans and everything else that come with it.
Okay, so But isn't it? It's an important convenience for your customers, isn't it? For your guests, the bar.
It's an important convenience, obviously, because driving from Maun, we don't have an airport. Driving from Maun to Gumare, when you get there, you need to relax a bit. You need to sit and chill and unwind. And that's why we figured it's very important that we should have a bar in the facility
and a restaurant.
And a restaurant in the facility.
Because where are people going to get the food?
Yes, it's very convenient for them when they're staying with us to have proper breakfast in the morning and proper lunch like that. But we do serve the best cuisine in the area.
Wow. Well,
Yes.
that's a very useful comment, because it will lead me to ask you to blow your own trumpet. What do I mean by that? I mean, what are the highlights in terms of your successes and your triumphs that you are most proud about?
I think I'm proud about what we've come up with, what we've put together thus far, meaning the facility that we've built and the kind of impression that we've created on people.
Tell me about that.
About us.
What happened? Who said what? Without necessarily mentioning names. What impression, what impact have you had?
Yes, obviously when you start a business as small as where we picked ours from, like I was mentioning, we only had 10 rooms.
Only 10?
Only 10. We were funded for 10 rooms. And we built that facility up to 33 rooms and a conference room, restaurant and bar, and a swimming pool.
In a space of about 5 years.
In a space of about 5 years, yes. And another hotel on top of it.
Actually, not 5, eh? Well, I'm excluding the COVID years. Yeah.
Yes. The COVID years, obviously, we're not working. So people, like, they would tell us that you really did a good job, and we can see how you guys, no matter the challenges, you are going up. You are really trying your best. So that is like the highlight. That is the one thing that keeps us motivated to keep working every day against all the odds that we are facing every day.
And can you not mention an incident or two where you really wowed the customer and made an impact?
There's plenty. There's plenty. Our guests are always happy with us, because there are moments where maybe when we have a bit of time, we'll take them and drive them around the village or to Tubu. If you can go to our Facebook page, you realize. Tubu.
Is it part of like a game drive?
No, we don't have activities yet. Yes, but we do it as a personal gesture to people that we relate with. I believe if you turn up, like if we gel properly, we have a proper conversation, you end up becoming friends with your guests. Not like friends, but people that you relate with. And for that, we develop such relationships, and if somebody stays with you for 5-10 days, you see them every day in your corridors, you end up having conversations. And we do take them around when somebody asks, how far is Tubu from here? Because Tubu is very popular because of Rekunde.
Because of
that lady, the comedian called Rekunde.
Yes, he's from there.
She's from there. So Tubu is a very popular place, and it's a very beautiful place.
The comedian shoots from there.
She was born in Tubu.
Oh, and she likes talking about it.
She likes talking about Tubu. Yes. So Tubu is a beautiful place. It has beautiful palms. The landscape is just amazing. And it has some nice floodplains around. So we do such gestures to our guests, and up to today, some of them will say, "Kana, you took me to Tubuka 2017." I'm like, no, I can't remember. Yes.
Okay, no, that's lovely. And now, in terms of global trends, first let me talk about Wi-Fi access and connectivity. It has proven to be a bit of a challenge in the past. How are you addressing that one? Internet access, etc.
Internet is not a problem for us at this moment. It will have like blackouts like any other place, but we have proper internet connection in Gumare from BTC, and also we have other providers, who are coming forth with. Okay. Yes, so we really don't have issues in terms of internet. No, not at all.
That is very good.
Yes.
Even in terms of quality, whether it's YouTube or anything like
that.
Yeah,
the quality is great. Yeah.
So I could have conducted this interview from
Online.
Online, yeah.
Yes, it was still going to work.
Yeah, this is great.
Yes.
Now, how do you see the future, looking at global trends? The future of tourism?
Tourism is really growing at an alarming rate. And we have to realize that we also have to like pull our socks to be there at where everybody is. You know, I love traveling a lot. Whenever there is a tourism show somewhere, I try and make sure I attend it because I want to stay relevant. I want to keep up with what is going on
Trends,
at this moment with the trends and everything that is going on. So we also have to make sure, because our guests are international, that the standard stays there. They don't feel it's Africa. You know how you get to be overseas and you ask people about Botswana, they know nothing about Botswana. All they know is that Africa is full of mud huts. They don't know where we have beautiful facilities such as Mogobe Plaza. They think we sit in mud huts every day. So we are trying to keep up with the trends in terms of being present on the internet, like online, like I mentioned earlier, booking.com, so that people can get to view our facilities wherever they are.
How does it work, booking.com?
You can just view your room wherever you are and book a room. It's already.
So you take you shoot the what do I call it, the facility, and you put it online.
You put it online,
so people can walk through the place.
They can view.
That's what I mean.
They can view it online and get to
in
choose
a video
their
format.
Room, whether it's video or it's a picture, but they can get to choose the room looking at the amenities that are provided in that particular room. Yes. So it becomes easier for them to.
And for that, you pay a subscription.
Yes, I pay a commission.
Okay.
As the provider.
Okay.
As the operator.
Per guest, the guest that comes through there.
Per guest that comes through, per booking that I get from.
There are quite a few others, isn't it? It's not just booking.com.
There's a lot. There's just a lot. There's too many of them.
Yeah.
Also, we have a website that is running, that is active, that also people can get to book from our website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Local culture. How do you incorporate local culture? You mentioned taking people to Togo, but are there ways in which you in terms of artifacts, in terms of maybe traditional dance and other activities locally, that you involve your guests and incorporate the activities in your hotel?
Yeah, we do that a lot. So that I believe before COVID, we used to have groups that were performing for our guests on a daily basis. Whenever we were having dinner, would sit outside with our guests and we have groups performing. But since COVID was a big blow.
What happened to those groups?
Not the groups as per se, Rona, because now the revenue was not
as much.
So we were trying to and then Pediamulone came with a feast. So it's been a bit of a roller coaster. But what I can say, before COVID, we used to have groups performing because Kogumarakwa, it's authentic, it's pure, it's culture based. So we'll have group Yabambukushu performing today, tomorrow we'll have group Abaye performing for our guests, or we can take them to a household because right now people are very much interested in this tourism, the natural authentic experiences. They would say, I want to know what a normal Botswana woman does how long in the morning. So we had guests who've requested for a baiswe to a family to stay there for 2 or 3 days.
Really?
And get to experience a pagela. So we once had taken our guest to a family in Habu, and our guest stayed there. She was from France. She stayed there for 2 nights. And then they go and cook. So it was all nice. So that's how we get to interact the local community. Also, we do a lot
it's
of
authentic.
Also, we do a lot of corporate social responsibility. We have families that we are taking care of. Barakelang groceries on a monthly basis.
Wow.
We have bana ba e leng gore ba rekela di-uniformo whenever dikole di bula re ba rekela di-uniformo. We also have batho ba e leng gore re ba agetse mantlo a bonno, not like big mansions, but whatever that can work for them. So we have about I can't quite keep track, but more than 5 households that we've built houses for.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just what type of houses? Modern houses?
No, like 1 room or 2 rooms.
Hey,
Just
okay.
just something
Just
like
to
that.
make sure that we get our foot out of poverty.
But in any case, I remember we have one member of our staff that we built a 1 room for. You know, this girl is trying because they were sleeping in 1 mud hut. So we built her a room privacy because and you know, that is one of the things that we enjoy.
It's a way of giving back.
We enjoy doing within our community. Community as much as but I hope to maintain that male relationship so that because we are not from there, obviously. So it becomes a bit difficult to
so
work.
Someone watching this may be wondering, is it really worth going all the way to Gumare? What would you say are the must-see places? What are the big attractions? Give me a reason to say, instead of going to Sandton or going to Cape Town, let me go to Gumare.
Gumare has beautiful landscapes here as itself. It's a beautiful place. And because it's a part of the Makovango Delta, so obviously the floodplains are flowing towards us. So obviously it's a beautiful place. And we have a lot of attraction places, like we have Sodilo Hills. People do come there to do hiking,
Sodilo Hills is obviously those
paintings, the rock paintings.
Old Basaras.
Yes.
Rock paintings, yeah.
Yes.
How far is Sodilo from where you are?
From Gumare is 80 kilometers, but it's 40 minutes drive. Yeah. So it's very close. And from Shakawe is about 35, which is 15-20 minutes drive. Yeah. And Sodilo, in a tourism, means a lot of cultural tourism. We also have Baporofiti going there.
What do you mean?
Baporofiti Helabadi Kerek. They come as far as here from Gibbs, going there to do rituals, and yeah.
But how does a person become part of that?
You want to become part of it, no?
I mean, is it a tourist attraction?
They come to our facility, they book accommodation. That is the most important part. And we take them there at a charge.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you mean.
So when they get there, whatever they do there, whether you go there to hike or you get there, but what is important for us,
they're customers.
Yeah, you are a customer, and we are going to, they will tell us on the way because can I tender so such beliefs. So there's a lot of right now they used to have a campsite within the female hill. It has 2 hills, like the male and the female. So they used to have a campsite in the female.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God.
They educated me.
So they used to have a campsite, the female hill, go Rhino Trail. It's called a Rhino Trail. Right now, Bantil is a campsite, I think, outside the fence. Because but they would book there for camping, and then they want to go up the hill by themselves. But it was not like safe. But they don't want to know her or because so you don't just go there unannounced. So
don't like surprises.
There's a lot of that is happening. There's this cultural dances that they do. They sell the artifacts like most of them so there's a lot of dance and music that you can experience when you get there.
And your hotel partners with some of those people who are dancing, or?
Yes, when you take our guests there, we tell them, like, if it's a big group, we don't have like activities that we book, but we have like customized packages where somebody will tell us, okay, make it about 25, 15. So in that way we can arrange We're having a group that will do a sleepover there. Do you have a group that can perform for them or something like that? But again, we have also Chowy Hills, Chowy and
how far is
Chowy from us is around not from Zodile, it's the other way.
Oh, the opposite direction.
It's about 120 from us, and it's gravel, so it's 4-5 hours drive to get there. But people like
on a 4x4.
On a 4x4, you can never ever try to go there with a small vehicle because there's one tree that is called trouble tree. Trouble tree, like yes. Where you get to that tree, your vehicle can be like up to halfway in mud. So you don't take a chance of driving there. And I always encourage people, when you need to drive to Chowy during rainy season, always try to make sure that you have a local with you who can show you around. A local person who can show you how to navigate. Because if you are to go there by yourself, whether or not it's raining or it's not raining, you can experience a lot of problems driving the area.
In terms of the condition of the road.
The conditions of the road. We also have.
But what is there to see there? What is so special about the place?
It's Chowy Caves. They are called Drosky Caves. Our former president liked them so much. So
those are the ones.
Yes, those are the ones. They have a lot of authentic culture. So also they do a lot of trekking, they do a lot of guiding. They believe so with torches on their foreheads because like it's very dark. But it's very scary. You can tell there are snakes around you. So yeah, so
it's not for the
faint-hearted.
faint-hearted.
No, it's not for the faint-hearted. But it's a beautiful experience. If you don't want to get inside the cave, you can always hike on the hill.
Or just remain outside.
And also we have a crocodile farm called it's called Makovango. It's a community farm. So the one thing I like about it is trust. So the prices are not ridiculous. So you can just go there for around, I think it's around 30 pula or so. You get inside, they tell you the processes. I think they have over 16,000 crocodiles in there.
It's too much.
It's a lot.
Is it not dangerous?
No, it's a farm. They're in paddocks. So from the hatching stage up till by Ebola or they harvest the skin from it. But it's a beautiful experience though to get to know. And
do you make this part of a package when a guest comes, or there are different options that you offer them when they are there?
We don't literally take people there to Makovango because we don't have the service here, the activity at the moment.
So you basically
just guide them.
You just inform them.
Inform them for we can go to Makovango if you want to learn about crocodiles. They have a very old crocodile there. It's called Sam from Samujima. I think it's over 100 years old. So he's a Madala sitting there. A lot of people were going there and meeting him. To see Sam. I think at some point he was taken to South Africa and returned. Because they went to go and claim him there because he was born and raised in the Makovango River. So they wanted to have him back home. Oh. Yes.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
I think he had a wife and the wife passed away or something like that. Yes.
Another 100-year-old wife.
Yes. So they have some as old as Poma 76 years. Within
because a crocodile can go up to what, 150?
I'm not sure, but some is over 100. I think he's 104 this year, 105. He's very old.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Now, what advice would you give someone, because a lot of young entrepreneurs are watching us here, and the reason why we do this show is to encourage others. So what advice would you give someone who's thinking or contemplating getting into this business?
Do your research. Just do your research. Don't go with the flow. Feasibility studies is very important before you venture into a business, to get to see the trends.
Because in your case, you took 4 years or something.
Yes, I wrote my business plan for 4 years. So go to feasibility study is very important. But like going with the flow. There's this issue PDM. I was at the Department of Tourism in Mabani. I saw a lot of people coming to inquire about guest houses because now PDM 300. So they want to convert their houses into guest houses because it's a thing that is going on now. So we don't know what is going to happen in the next 2 years, you see. So I think we should do our research and our feasibility study before we can start getting into businesses. It helps a lot. And also learn as a person, we learn because we don't stop learning. We learn every day. I look we're interested in doing something. It take us on. Like I did my diploma in hospitality management part time. Ke bereka mo counseling. Ke resign. Ke run hotel because I wanted to learn about the hospitality and tourism and everything that comes with it. And also I got very lucky because when I was transferred to Gumari, ke bereka ko counseling. I found batho ba le mo striking ka 2011. So I went into the office. Ke tell gore he bana ke morena. Ke sign because everybody is out. Like everybody goes starring ko motswereng. So I'm there ke le nna boss ya no. So I was like given a lot of responsibilities because batho ba ne ba seyo. So I learned very fast. I made sure gore ke tuta sengwe fast. By the time bata ba itela access ke tshwere. And then when they came of obviously we worked together because when I was still on the issues because they were fighting with the government over the salary and stuff. So I was lucky to be taken ke go bereka ko Ipelefeng department at that moment. So we go bereka ko Ipelefeng. We're dealing with project at that time. The trend was like it was with our former president and a lot of destitute houses. So because construction I was an accountant in that department. Obviously everything that is bought, every little stock that is bought goes through me to authorize. So next like from the adapter female, I knew everything from there. And then I was also like I was dealing with construction,
self-help housing agency.
Yes. So I was also the accountant, so I could tell what length and stuff like that. So my husband knows I know drill bit I don't need to write down or ask. I already know what he's talking about. So that is the one thing that helped me like what goes on.
So your advice to those aspirants is to say
learn as much as you can wherever you are. Even when you are sitting in Mr. Mogobe's office, learn from there. Don't think I'm not interested in the podcasting, so rather something else, because that thing can work for you in future. So that is
very
the
great
point.
advice.
Ever.
Now there's a perception that there's a lot of money in tourism, obviously because of the success of international tourism, but there's that sometimes people think along those lines. Some of them are those who are going with the flow, like you mentioned. But my question to you is that, is there really sustainability in terms of cash flow, and is there money to be made? Azagaite.
Go tourism, my dear man, start. What tourism, my dear man, start, Mr. Mogobe. So there's too much money go tourism. You can imagine, okay, I'll just give you an example. If you have 10 rooms, which are 1,000, or 10,000
if you can fill people.
If you can fill people, if you can fill your, it's easy to fill 10 rooms than it is to fill 35 rooms, you see. So, obviously, Gumari, at the time that we were there, there was not the facilities, but not only influx about to come into the area. So obviously Ratana full from Monday to Friday, and people will check out on Saturday, but Sunday. So there was only one day in Lakorner fully booked
for a whole year.
For a whole year.
Wow. Maybe Christmas.
So you can imagine only on Saturdays. So on Saturday re book makgowa because ne re tswala di room tsa rona and open them for international bookings on Saturdays only. So also on Saturday.
Why?
Because makgowa when they come on transit go go rona ba heta. They coming ba heta ba go Mohembo border or ba tsana mo Delta Ring. So ne re ba buka when they book 1 night maximum of 2 nights. Or if they stay 3 nights it's because I'm tired, I don't think I'll go today.
Don't want to drive.
So on Saturday also we'll have a group of makgowa coming on Saturday. So we're like constantly busy.
Makgowa,
like
for those
that.
who don't know, we mean
International
international guests. Mulongo. Actually, it's broad because it includes Japanese, Americans, Europeans, and people from outside Botswana.
In that area of Asko, 835. That road here Kumareshaka to Mohembo border.
835.
Yes, an 835 road. We receive a lot of German guests from Germany and from Namibia. So we don't have a lot of people from US or UK. We have a lot of people from France, from Germany, from Poland.
Because Namibia is not far.
Yeah, because Namibia is not far. So they come through Mohembo border. If they want to drive through Botswana, they'll come through Mohembo border and drive through to maybe Maung. They get into the Delta, or they come through Mamuno border and drive through Basayoko Teleko Maung. They come spend the night with us and then do 2 nights, maybe Moguma in the Delta, and then they go Kamuhembo border to the Kaprivi Strip. Then they go to Kasane, Vic Falls, that way. So that side, our international guests, that's why I say, people when they say, why are you guys everybody doing a travel agency? Everybody in Botswana, as much as really 2.3 million. Everybody can open a travel agency and still make money.
Really?
Yes. Because the stake is big. Because Ronari as a fraction of Africa. You can imagine how many travel agency companies are there in South Africa and how much money those people are making. Because obviously, the travel agencies are now, let's say 200,000 of Botswana have travel agencies. They all book the Delta. We're going to run out because guests are there and the facility they will sale. So the stake is big. You can imagine how far Australia is from the USA or from the UK. And
very far.
It's very far. And when you can just focus, and just get to focus on Sydney only. Not even going anywhere else, not even going to Melbourne. Sydney and Ubuka Sydney as a travel agent.
Yeah.
Everybody coming from Sydney, they know that travel agent
So.
And that's it. So I think our country is not known because we're not selling it enough. Fear, hey, travel agents. I also have a travel agency, but I don't have
within the hotel or side by side with the hotel.
It's running concurrently. Yes.
Yeah.
With the hotel, we do.
What does the travel agency do?
Ours is a destination management company. We do business tourism, like urban tourism. We cannot run away from the fact that Botswana has been selected to be one of the best safari country in the world. So obviously, even if as much as you want to focus on mice, you also get inquiries. The safari. Yes. I think in 2023, Botswana was voted the best safari country in the whole world.
Wow.
Yes. So we also get inquiries to safari. So we do also do customized.
Makes me brim with pride.
Yes.
Beam with pride. I mean, I'm very, very happy to hear that.
Yeah. So we also do safari packages, like if people want to get into the Delta. But the intention for us to have formed the destination management company was that we wanted to focus too much on mice, on meetings, incentives, conferencing, and So that was the kind of business that we wanted to do, because we do have inquiries, people asking, I want to know how nightlife is in Gaborone, take me to Deja Vu, or take me to Old Naledi, or take me to Pakalani. So they want to get to learn everything that goes.
Ayoba, or
take me to
Ayoba.
Ayoba.
Is now going to be called the pond.
Yes. So we have a lot of people, especially when they come here for conferencing, for meetings, like we had the Forbes under 30 just happening just
2 weeks
recently.
ago,
Yes, they do go to the Delta, and then also they want to experience the nightlife. So we've been dealing with such packages because Maung has a very active nightlife. As long as you want us to take you to the club, we will take somebody with you, a guide with you to the club who's going to club with you the whole night, but you're going to pay for it.
Yes. It's an extra service.
It's an extra service. So obviously, there wasn't a lot of people who were focusing on that line of
250 Ks for a club.
You mean for?
From Gumare to Maung.
No, but when our guests arrive, sometimes they arrive and stay in Maung. We don't just book our facility only.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Because for the travel agents, we book everyone else. We even book inside the Delta for people. But people do crazy things to get to experience the nightlife.
Yeah.
Yes. And, you say our international tourists, when they come here, they don't even want to sleep. They're here to explore.
So and to have fun.
And
so to have different experiences.
Yes. So we try to give them that. When they're here, we need to try by all means to give them whatever they want at that moment.
Sure. That's very, very interesting. So you conclude your argument on the money by saying Botswana should jump in.
Botswana should jump into tourism and do aggressive marketing. There's never enough money for marketing. This year, budget time, make 20,000 for marketing. Marketing is very, very important. It's one of the most important aspects of a business. Because there's no how people are going to know of Makovango if I don't take it out there to people. You are going to go to Gumare and not know about us and sleep somewhere else. So if you know about us, you're going to tell somebody, a friend of yours saying, you're going to tell them about us. So I believe Botswana, we should focus on tourism. We don't have a lot of buying power. Botswana don't have buying power like government. We all depend on the government. But then again, a lot of people are interested internationally to coming into Botswana. So Botswana run business should try and get tourism, should try and get business from outside.
Wow.
To attract people into our country, because people are very much interested into coming. People have always said they thought Botswana was part of South Africa. I learned this when I was in Germany. And the other guy was saying, do I need a visa to come to South Africa? I said, no, I'm not sure if you are a German or you are going to need a visa to go to South Africa. But to get to my country, I know you need a visa. Said, where is your country? I said, it's in Botswana. I said, no, Botswana is part of South Africa. I said, no,
it's a totally
Botswana is not. Yeah, it's not a part of South Africa, because South Africans book our facilities at Delta from
as if it's a part.
Yes.
As if it's the same package.
Yes. So that's what we need to do. We need to sell destination. Botswana is a destination. Not just in my facility or somebody's facility, but we need to sell Botswana as a destination when we are out there, so that people can get to know. Because when you are running a travel agency, you book anywhere. I can even book a guest Kwakanzi, I can book a guest Mogaboroni. But then if I'm saying my country is a destination, obviously I can sell wherever I am.
But everything has a dark side, the negative side. What is it in this industry?
Isn't it? Our biggest hiccup mo Botswana is that Botswana don't support each other. Even as business people, I don't know if it's is business people. We don't support each other. Like if I'm fully booked, I'll give you as an example. If I'm fully booked and I give you 2 rooms, I give you 2 people to go and stay at your facility. Like, I
used to have an interesting situation in my facility in Maung, where people would book, people from an opposing lodge would book and saying that they're bringing guests. And then at the last minute, when it's too late now for us to find a replacement around maybe Easter, they say, no, those people are no longer coming.
They're no longer coming, yes. So Botswana...
And then we realize, no, then we don't take bookings
from them
until payment is made.
Botswana don't support each other. Lerumo business and like.
I mean, that's just sabotage, pure.
It's pure sabotage.
We've experienced a few of those.
Yeah, that one happens a lot, and it doesn't like stress us anymore. And we don't support each other in that manner. Even our guests, they will come, oh, this is nice. Once they learn the facilities for Motswana, now they start criticizing, picking points and, trying to make situations look as if there's something that is happening there.
Yeah.
So Botswana don't generally support each other, and Motswana are actually impressed because now they are paying big money. Right now it's better because they've negotiated. They can just sit in the corner and say, can I negotiate like 600 in a facility at 1.5, so there's nothing I can do. But hela kana kwa impressed Botswana bana ba re tshwenyara. Mehela, it was part of growth and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the future. What's in store for Choky going forward? When I say future, I mean really long term, 10 years, 20 years. What are the long-term plans?
We have a lot of plans. But before we get to that, I think Botswana, our country is overly regularized. That's how we say it.
Overregulated.
It's overregulated. Melao ya rona e thata. In terms of like when you want to get into a business, there's a project that we've been trying to do for the past 5 years. We have not even been able to do it
because of licensing.
Because not just licensing, the process that you have to go through, the compliance, the paperwork, the paperwork from your they're very, and also the one thing about it, those compliance requirements, they come at a price. For you to build a facility, maybe let me say, 2 million, you would have spent 200,000 on paperwork only. From the plan to EIA to body soil test. Yes, because obviously when you are in Makovango, for you to get an architect, so the first thing for a site visit, for a site visit, you need to put that person in a bus or fill that car to come there. That's number one. And number two, they're going to charge you whatever they can charge you. When they get there, also you need to get accommodation and food for them. If they're going to stay there for 3 nights, it means those 3 nights are paid by you.
So how do you overcome that challenge?
There isn't a way to overcome it. It's just to live with it because things need to be done properly. And because our country, paperwork is very expensive to conduct in this country. How in EIA for a project? Okay, fine. Let me just say, we're trying to build a hotel at rooms 80, and a conference facility and a convention center. Because convention center in number about 1,500.
Yes.
So we already have the plot. The plot is in the use that we want it to be. Now the problem comes when you have to do the environmental
the impact assessment.
You have to do the soil test. You have to draw the plan. The planning structural plans. Like
you need to be really determined.
You need to be ready, and you need to be able to spend the money. Because obviously you're not going to plan to get a plan. 80 rooms in a conference room.
Yeah.
So you need to have the money. That's what I'm saying. This project.
So are you lamenting the overregulation or just the sheer expense of certain projects, or combination of those two?
It's a combination of those two. My opinion is Motswana has been in business. If you've been in business and you are known, you have your reputation already. Right? Mr. Mogobe can do this thing and you trust him to do it. Why are you being treated like a newbie? Like somebody who says in Sepe or somewhat corner to corner. So
you may be made to jump all the hoops.
All the hoops, but when they know and they've seen your track record, that this is how you do things and you are going to execute. Also, do about construction. That's why construction is at level or license. I don't know what they call them. What's the regular PPADB? I don't know what it's called now. But for construction about license E or license D, hela alora it's when you have this license or you have the experience to do the work and to do it, to execute it nicely.
Yeah.
So why can't it be the case with other businesses? Because obviously, if I've been a hotelier for 7-8 years, you've seen my track record. Why can't you trust me to do other things and do them properly? Because I know the expectation.
Well, it gets terrible when now a Botswana regulator wants to enforce the letter of the law for a Botswana, and then loosens the letter of the law for a non-Botswana.
Yes.
And that one I've experienced.
That happens a lot. Yeah. Especially we are comfortable and we know there are a lot of hotels in the Delta that are not licensed.
Yeah.
And it's not a secret. And we know but the regulators know about it. They're not doing anything about it. I'll give you an example. I once heard a story from a certain gentleman in Thare. So a closing season the
seasonal.
The seasonal. So so this certain gentleman the ponds will dry out and then the tapinyana so this madala picked this fish from Seretse. So the law enforcer met this madala no madala no. Because now I'm hungry. I just want to go and cook and eat with my kids. And that gentleman took the fish from the old man and bent it. So you can just see her. Sometimes I say, it's the law enforcer. It's the law enforcer. They're being made difficult by the law enforcers, not like
he literally bent the fish.
He literally bent the fish. But madala le hungry, you can imagine. So
it's terrible.
It's terrible. So our law enforcers now we have had that face to face where somebody says no, not madi, you are supposed to do things this way. So how next na madi was I going to do it that way? Yeah. So you wonder. So I think we know there is a lot of but who are in our country operate illegally. There's no one who's doing anything about it. But when you feel the pinch. Yeah. If you do one mistake, you'll be punished for the rest of your life.
We have to be alert. We have to exercise grit, like I say in my book.
Yes.
All right, now time for you to ask me a question as we wrap up our conversation. Yeah.
Now I just want to know how you keep your head above water given the kind of businesses that you do and that I read somewhere that you became a millionaire in your 30s. I became a millionaire in my 30s too.
Yeah. Same as you.
But I know I want to learn. Okay, this question is coming from here. Let me just say this a bit. Growing up, like the restaurant, so but with you've managed to keep your head above water all these years, and but there must be something that you are doing right that we don't know. So that is the one thing that I want us to
it's by His grace, and I've been fortunate enough to accept I don't do things unless they are necessary.
Yes.
For instance, smoking, alcohol, and womanizing, those things are totally unnecessary. So you only work on the basis of is something necessary or not. So that has helped a lot.
Yes.
And then God's grace also, you pray about something, you work hard for it, and then that thing is granted unto you. Matthew 7:7 and Matthew 7:8. Chapter 7 verse 8. You know it again.
I do.
Yeah, knocking
and you shall be answered.
And all that. So what I'm saying to you is that I've been very fortunate in that regard, and I've been able to surround myself with a very strong team, and I've been lucky. Sometimes I've made blunders. I choose wrong members, and then in a matter of a year or two, those people are rejected by the system. But the team that I've had, that has stayed in for decades, and I have people who've been with me for 3.5 decades. I have others who've been with me 2 decades, 10 years. I find those people who are loyal, who stay with me, people with whom I can delegate tasks to. And then I've had the good fortune of having not just those that I employ, but people who are independent contractors that I've worked with for many decades. So that is the key. But to tell you more means you'll be bored when you read it in the book. So I'll just stop there and say that part of it is God's grace. Yeah.
I think now we need to be taught Botswana about succession plans. Because if you can take an example, a lot of people right now have an madi. We can learn from Botswana Haskins. They were there. Their legacy still lives. Now we need to learn going forward how to do it. Into the business and sustain.
Yeah.
That's why we need.
Well, one of the things I do, I've started a mentorship program for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And one of the things that I teach, one of the modules, or if you like, is on succession planning and intergenerational wealth transfer. So it's something that I'm learning myself, but my thinking is that as I'm learning and mastering that, I might as well share with other people that we learn that.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'll see it marketed and advertised. Or I have this program.
I would love to attend it.
Yeah, you can attend online as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of us Botswana entrepreneurs fumble around it, and we don't know how best we can. I try because with my kids, my firstborn, when he was waiting to go into varsity, he worked at the hotel, and my secondborn is also waiting to go into varsity. He's now working there at the hotel. I try to familiarize them.
You have to bring them in.
Yes.
I'm lucky that all my kids are part of the business.
Yes.
In one form or the other.
To familiarize them with what is going on, so that tomorrow you don't leave your business in the hands of strangers.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. As we conclude our conversation, you look at that camera and you share one final parting message for the viewer. The camera is yours.
What I can say here, don't be scared. Take that risk that you've been wanting to do that thing that you've been wanting to do. There's no a proper formula to it. There's no one who has paved the way for you. You're going to have to do it yourself. So let's just push and not stop.
Never ever stop. Now give them all your contacts, even on social media, WhatsApp, everywhere.
For bookings, you can contact us on +267 7500 9696. We are on Facebook, we are on booking.com, we're on Expedia, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. So you can reach us wherever you want. Our website is www.makovango.co.bw. Thank you. Okay, and how can you direct them to the hotels? Yes, Makovango Kogumare is opposite Okavango CJSS. If you are driving from Shell filling station, Osnago on the A35, you drive straight from the Shell filling station as if you're going to Absa. When you before you reach Absa, you would see CB Stores and FunMart. You make a turn to your right as if you're going to Police. Then you see the junior school. Gate there Ronalia Junior Radile Bahane. It's a very beautiful thatched facility you see on your left. And then Koshaka way we are located Gokoteng Yarwe as you go to Mahembo. You drive all the way over Heta Brigade, and then you just drive in the old Mahembo Road. It's a Manhattan. And then as you pass the preschool or the new school that is being built, Koshaka is under construction. The hotel is on the right on the riverbank. That's where the riverfront resort is. Thank you very much. You've done a wonderful job. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.